There are some massive changes coming to New World's crafting, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Some of them will make you gold, some of them will save you gold, some of them are just good to know. Before we jump in though, a big shout out to my YouTube members. Thank you very much to you guys, I do really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, that truly is the best way to do so. Something that is coming to New World is the daily first craft bonus. Now I think this is really just for the crafting professions rather than the gathering, but I haven't been able to confirm that. So here on the PTR, what I did was I decided to craft some gathering tools. The first axe that I craft in the day, I get about 400 XP, which is basically a double of what I should have done, which is about 200. And we can confirm that because the second time I craft it, I get about 200 XP. And if I craft another tool, which is one that I haven't created today, then I yet again get the double XP. In theory, this could mean that you were going to be able to level your professions with half the materials that you did previously. In reality, that's not going to be overly practical because a lot of people just bulk craft. But whilst you're leveling, and especially maybe during fresh, it would be wise to try and craft different items if you're just trying to level up your profession. And then if you've got the mats to spare, yes, just splurge it all and do one kind of item because otherwise you'll be there all day. But other than that, there's no harm in doing it, so you just craft one of each. It's just you're not going to be able to rely on that because otherwise you'll just fall behind in general. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the legendary tools and bags. So this one is relatively simple. We'll start with the tools. Gathering tools are going to be able to be crafted whilst legendary, giving you an extra perk. These legendary gathering tools have a perk on them that is going to get you a specific type of molt. So you have a chance to get a specific type of molt every time you craft, which is basically giving you free molt whilst just going about your normal gathering. So it's very likely that molt prices will, one, even out, and then two, probably just go down. But it's also a big opportunity for engineers to make gold with the gathering tools again. It's a very similar story for bags. Bags will now be able to be crafted legendary, and they too will come with an extra perk. The perk in this case is lasting consumption. Effectively, all of your consumables are going to last about 17% longer, and it will indeed stack, so the more of this type of perk you have, the more it stacks. This means two things. One, save your runes of holdings or go out there and buy some every day. They're probably going to go up on the live version when this comes out. And secondly, if you're trying to sell any bags right now, well, maybe rush and get them sold because the value of them is probably going to go down. The next thing is cooking. This is a relatively minor change, but I think like an important one for the future. The first thing is that there's going to be different recipes for the 40 stat food, and they will indeed actually last a little bit longer. I can't actually remember how long the food lasts off the top of my head, but it just lasts a little bit longer. This should really widen out the resources that are needed to craft these stat foods, because some people will be crafting like the longer lasting versions and some people will be crafting the shorter version. So it should probably even out the prices a little bit there. And secondly, and I think this one is the more important for the long-term future of the game, is that we're actually getting a new crafted recipe that is going to give you an in-game combat buff. Now I think the buff is actually going to reduce the damage from damage over time spells, which sounds minor, but as I said, it's the first time we've seen like combat buffs, I think, beyond just having like stats. I think the implications of that could be quite large. And then the next thing is the golden scarab. Now this is quite a big one depending on your position in the game. Effectively, it's going to be an item very similar to a timeless shard that is going to let you pick the stat, as well as letting you pick 2 perks. Now, it does not guarantee gear score 600. The items do not become bind on pickup, and you can actually buy and sell the scarabs as well. It does use your normal crafted gear modifiers. So if you can normally craft between 595 and 600, that's what you'll get here. It doesn't guarantee legendary. It also actually has to combine with the timeless shards. So you need a golden scarab, you need some timeless shards, you need way more of the craft mods themselves, so like the iron guardsman insignias and stuff like that. But it does let you pick 2 perks, but you're only going to get that legendary 1 in 6 times. It looks likely that for PvPers, you'll probably pick 2 of your normal perks and hope that you get resilient, as resilient seems to be the perk that if left to its own devices, it will give you more often than not. Still, it's going to be a bit random, but overall it's less random than what we have right now. However, at the expense of these materials. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be game breaking in any way, shape or form. So that's it. They're the big changes coming to crafting, hopefully summed up in a relatively short video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you do want to support the channel, then being a YouTube member is truly the best way to do so. What you should definitely do is have the most beautiful day, like and subscribe. Goodbye.